Over the last couple of years, few games have been able to really draw my attention and entertain me. It was as if all games that had guns in them were the same generic, cash-grabbing piece of shit games. So when I first started playing this game, I thought, okay, this is probably gonna suck enormous dick. But in reality, it was kinda okay. This game is not perfect. It is far from perfect, but it has been able, in contrary to most recent games, to actually keep my interest until the end, and not make the last part of the story feel repetitive or boring. Let's start with what makes this game good. Now, some games choose to let the player start off with all core mechanics available, for example, Far Cry. You can either buy new weapons, abilities or other utilities to upgrade your character, but that doesn't really add anything in terms of interesting mechanics. Sure, you can buy a skill that lets you chain stealth kills, but that is just the mechanic of a stealth kill being repeated. In my opinion, that makes the game boring, unless you've got some epic story or other gameplay to back it up with. And then you've got other games, like Tomb Raider, that get it right and gradually give you new equipment which unlock new mechanics. You start this game with absolutely nothing. First you find a bow, and you learn how to hunt, something you will, by the way, never ever have to do again in this game, but that's besides the point. You learn that you can only light your torch using fire sources. But then you find flint and steel to light up your torch without the need of those sources. You get a lighter to shoot fire arrows. You get this thing that lets you go whoosh up on ropes. That was my favorite item. And in terms of weapons, you find a handgun, machine gun, shotgun, bow, which are all upgradable, nothing too fancy. You find crafting parts to upgrade your weapons, but most of the time you don't really even notice these upgrades. Now let's move on to the story. The story fucking sucks. The story is about Lara traveling to Japan to find some kind of hidden island or something. Your ship ends up in a storm, and as a result you're stuck on this island. Initially you're separated from your group, but when you find them, you find that one of them is kidnapped by other people who are also trapped on the island and have been for some time. And the game basically revolves around rescuing that person. The characters in this game are as fucking boring as the game is predictable. I could not give less of a shit about them. Early on, a few of them with whom you probably are supposed to have some kind of a connection die. And I could not have cared less when it happened. At some point later in the game, you try to escape the island, but you can't due to some kind of mystical power. Later you see these sort of samurai zombies, which adds some tension. But later on you just find out that you can also shoot these guys, and that they're just as powerful as the normal enemies. However, what this game does do well is its epic sequences. I mean, holy fuck, are you seeing this? What the fuck? But, they overdo it. Just a bit too much of those sequences, which results in them not being that entertaining. Now, except from the story, what can you do? Well, not that much. Let's talk about tombs. They start off really cool. They have this small part where you slowly walk in, which sets the atmosphere really nicely. But the tombs only consist of one puzzle you have to solve. I have to admit though, they are harder than your average gaming puzzles, but just having to solve one puzzle makes it feel a bit too easy. So what do you get when you finish a tomb? Gold? Some ancient artifact? Nope, you get the fucking same animation of her gasping. And you get crafting parts. Wow, really worth it. What else? Oh, you have the same animation over and over again when you stealth kill someone. Animations in general could have gotten some extra work, but hey, this is a game from 2013. Enemies take way too many bullets to kill. You can take 3 clips before you die, even on hard mode. All the footage you've seen so far, by the way, was of me playing on hard mode. And as you can see, it's not really that big of a challenge. So summarizing, I would say this game is decent. The story sucks dick, but is not really that big of a problem. It took me over 11 hours to finish this game, which was just a bit too long for me because it started to annoy me at the end. There is a multiplayer, but I didn't play it because I don't really feel like it. I give this game a 7 out of 10. Decent game.